Hello. In this presentation, I am going to provide an account of some of the main concepts in Gunter Kress's framework for critical discourse analysis, a multimodal social semiotic approach. To do so, I will first refer to the main principles in all human communication. Then, I will define the notion of text and mode in Kress's theory. Finally, I will refer to the 4 reasons why such a perspective is of interest for education. Let me start by saying that Kress departs from the idea that multimodality is the normal state of human communication. It is clear that image, color, and writing lend themselves to different kinds of semiotic work with lots of distinct potentials for meaning. We know that image has been part of human cultures longer than script. Image has been the subject of much interest, both academic or otherwise. The graffiti image developed by Banksy on this slide, reading "Fight the fighters, not their wars," with the image of a little girl releasing a heart-shaped balloon on a busy European street, is a very clear picture of the ways in which image and written language can operate in interesting ways on a wall. What is true is that the world of communication has changed and will keep changing still. Representational and communication practices are constantly altered. They are modified, as is the case with the cultural trends, in line with the effects of social changes. This is the reason why Kress says that the present is deeply unstable. However, there are some highly general semiotic principles which are common to all human communication. Certain semiotic principles are present and evident in all human societies and their cultures. Kress mentions 3 of the most important ones. The first one is that signs are motivated conjunctions of form and meaning. The second one is that the conjunction is based on the interest of the sign maker. And the third is that they are using culturally available resources. These are what Kress calls the principles of sign making. A very important idea in Kress's framework is that a culture will provide its distinct semiotic resources for framing signs, that is to say, that there is no meaning without framing. Modes, then, are the result of a social and historical shaping of materials chosen by a society for representation. Different modes occupy different terrains from one society to another. It is therefore important to begin looking at the field of meaning as a whole and to see how meaning is handled modally across a range of modes in different societies. What is the basis of a multimodal social semiotic perspective? Well, the basis in Kress's framework is that language isn't a big enough receptacle for all the semiotic stuff we felt sure we could pour into. In Kress's framework, the notion of text involves a consideration of communication that goes beyond written or spoken language per se. For Kress, a text is the result of processes of weaving different threads, usually assumed to be speech or writing, into a coherent whole. In Kress's use, these threads are many and materially diverse. Gesture, speech, image, whether it is still or moving image, writing, music, etc. Texts are the result of semiotic work of design, production, and composition, and as such, they can be semiotic entities of any kind, resulting in, he says, ensemblages, compounded of different modes. Texts, which are socially made, with culturally available resources, realize the interests of their makers. Texts are outcomes of processes initiated and performed by social agents for social reasons. Texts are material entities that exhibit conceptions of order of the group that has shaped the principles and uses them as a resource for establishing cohesion and coherence. In texts, these principles become material, they become manifest, visible, tangible. Let us now pass on to a reflection task. Analyze these two pictures that were taken from two objects at Normal 3, a desk from one of the classrooms and a blackboard placed in a corridor. In what ways do the texts thread different meanings to make up a whole? What are the culturally available resources that the agents have? In what ways are the texts material entities that exhibit the conceptions of the social group? And then the last, what is problematic here? What are modes? They are socially made and culturally available material semiotic resources for representation. So social semiotics is a theory about meaning-making, sign-making, with all the modes that are available in a culture. Let us draw a synthesis of what we have said so far. In a multimodal social semiotic perspective, texts are considered as outcomes, that is, semiotic entities, of processes initiated and performed by social agents, realizing their interests for social reasons that change as societies change, using diverse modes, culturally available resources. Let us conclude this section of the class by carrying out a reflection task on the photo in this slide. What text is this? Who are the social agents involved? What interests are they showing? What social reasons do they hold? What culturally available resources are they using?